Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about the resources and its types and why we should develop resources. The problems of overusing resources is not only a problem of a single nation. To sustain the resources, there have been some steps taken internationally. An international summit was held. Agenda 21 was adopted to combat several problems, one of which was also resource planning. Why resource planning is necessary? Today, our first topic that we will be discussing is on resource planning. Why do we need planning? When there is an event coming up, or suppose exam is coming up, we need to have a proper timetable or schedule to succeed or to score good marks. Planning always helps to get our work done in time and in a better way. Planning is the widely accepted strategy for judicious or proper use of resources. Let us understand why resource planning is required and what are the steps involved. India is rich in resources, especially natural resources like coal, iron ore, forests, oils, and many more. Some regions have both resources and facilities available which can be self-sufficient. For example, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh are rich in minerals and coal deposits. Jharkhand has the highest coal reserves in India, whereas some regions has the resources but proper facilities are not available, such as Arunachal Pradesh has abundance of water resources but lacks in infrastructural development. Also, some regions may be rich in certain types of resources but are deficient in some other resources. An example for this is Rajasthan, that has solar and wind energy but lacks in water resources. And a place like Ladakh is very rich in cultural heritage, but it is deficient in water, infrastructure, and some vital minerals. It is because of this imbalance in distribution of resources. It calls for balanced resource planning at the national, state, regional, and local levels. Now let us see the resource planning in India. How is resource planning done? What is its process? Resource planning involves 3 steps. First, identification and inventory of resources by surveying and mapping. Second, evolving a planning structure. Third, matching the resource development plans with overall national development plans. First, resources are identified from a particular place. It involves surveying and mapping. The amount of resources and its quality is measured. After identification, planning is done on which technology and skills are to be used to mine or extract the resource. Also, institutions are set up. In the third and final step, the resource development plans are matched with overall national development plans so that it benefits all. So, these are the steps of resource planning process. India, after independence, has also put efforts in achieving the goals of resource planning since its first 5-year plan for the nation's economic development. And from history, from the period of colonization, they used technology to exploit resources, which helped them to establish supremacy over the colonies, which contributed in the development. Therefore, in India, development in general and resource development in particular does not only involve the availability of resources but also the technology, quality of human resources, and the historical experiences of the people. Though resources are very important for any developmental activity, over the years, the irrational consumption and overutilization of the resources have been causing problems in the socio-economic and environmental sections. To overcome these, conservation of resource is also important. Mahatma Gandhi also stated there is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed. By this he meant that there is enough resources to fulfill just the needs of people, but not for greedy and selfish means. It would finish the resources and would not be sufficient enough for the coming generation. Our next topic is land resources. Land is an important natural resource. Many economic activities are performed here. Since it is limited and fixed, it should be carefully used. Figure 1.3 shows distribution of land under important relief features of India. About 43% of the land area is plain, which provides facilities for agriculture and industry. Mountains account for 30% of the total surface area of the country and ensure perennial flow of some rivers, provide facilities for tourism and ecological aspects. About 27% of the area of the country is the Plateau region. It possesses rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels, and forest. Now let us understand how land is utilized for different purposes. Here are 5 points given that you need to understand. First is forest. Here land is used in the form of forest. Second is land not available for cultivation, under which there are 2 types. The first is barren and wasteland. Wasteland includes rocky, arid, and desert areas. And secondly, land put to non-agricultural uses, example, buildings, roads, factories, etc. Third point is other cultivated land, excluding fallow land. So first is permanent pastures and grazing land. These are those land where animals graze. And secondly, that is land under miscellaneous tree crops groves. This is the land allotted for tree crops. And third is cultivable wasteland. These are those land that has been left uncultivated for more than 5 agricultural years. Fourth point, that is fallow lands. Under fallow lands comes current fallow, that is left without cultivation for 1 or less than 1 agricultural year. Secondly, other than current fallow, that is left uncultivated for the past 1 to 5 agricultural years. And the fifth point is net sown area. Net sown area are those areas which are used for cultivation and at least 1 crop is grown in a year. And area sown more than once in an agricultural year plus net sown area is known as gross cropped area. Now let us look at the land use pattern in India. The use of land is determined both by physical factors such as topography, climate, soil types, as well as human factors such as population density, technological capability, and cultural and traditions, etc. In figure 1.4, there are 2 pie charts given based on general land use categories 1960 to 61 and 2014 to 15. You can compare these two and see how over the decades they have changed. They might have increased also and they might have also decreased. The land mass or the total geographical area of India is 3.28 million square kilometers. So the land use data is available only for 93% of the total geographical area, because the land use reporting for most of the northeast states except Assam has not been done fully. Moreover, some areas of Jammu and Kashmir occupied by Pakistan and China have also not been surveyed. If the land under permanent pasture and other than the current fallow lands are included in net sown area, then in India the percentage of the net sown area comes to about 54% of the total reporting area. Forest area is less than 33% of geographical area, whereas forest is essential for maintenance of the ecological balance. There is also wasteland, which includes settlements, roads, railways, industries. This continuous use of land over a long period of time without taking appropriate measures to conserve and manage it has resulted in land degradation. So our next topic is land degradation and conservation measures. 95% of our basic needs for food, shelter and clothing are obtained from land. Many human activities cause land degradation. Some activities such as deforestation, overgrazing, mining and quarrying have badly affected the land. And in states like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Orissa, deforestation due to mining have caused severe land degradation. In states like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, overgrazing is one of the main reasons for land degradation. In the states of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, over-irrigation is responsible for land degradation due to water logging, leading to increase in salinity and alkalinity in the soil. There are some ways which could help in conservation of land, such as afforestation, proper management of grazing, planting of shelter belts of plants, proper management of wastelands, controlling mining, and many more measures are to be adopted to control land degradation. After land resource, now let us move to soil as a resource. Soil is the most important renewable natural resource. Have you ever seen any plants grown without soil? Soil has been the only medium where plants are grown. Without soil, no plants can be grown. It takes millions of years to form soil up to a few centimeters in depth. Relief, parent rock or bedrock, climate, vegetation and other forms of life and time are important factors in the formation of soil. Also, various factors of nature such as change in temperature, actions of running water, wind and glaciers, activities of decomposers, etc. contribute to the formation of soil as well. This is the figure of layers of soil over the years. On the basis of the factors responsible for soil formation, color, thickness, texture, age, chemical and physical properties, the soils of India are classified in different types. India has different relief features, landforms, climatic realms and vegetation types. These have contributed in the development of various types of soils. The first type we will be looking into is alluvial soil. This is the most widely spread and important soil. In fact, the entire northern plains are made of alluvial soil. These have been deposited by three important Himalayan river systems, the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. Alluvial soils are also described on the basis of their age. They are classified as old alluvial known as Bangar and new alluvial known as Khadr. The Bangar soil has higher concentration of conker nodules than the Khadr. It has more fine particles and is more fertile than the Bangar. Next is black soil. These soils are black in color and are also known as regur soils. Black soil is ideal for growing cotton and is also known as black cotton soil. The black soils are made up of extremely fine, that is, clayey material. They are well known for their capacity to hold moisture. In addition, they are rich in soil nutrients such as calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash, and lime. These soils are generally poor in phosphoric contents. They develop deep cracks during hot weather, which helps in the proper aeration of the soil. Both alluvial soil and black soil are important for exams. Questions are often asked from these two. So mark both of these as important. Next type of soil is red and yellow soils. Red soil develops on crystalline igneous rock in areas of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau. This soil appears red in color because of iron and appears yellow when it occurs in a hydrated form. Next is laterite soil. Laterite soil has been derived from the Latin word later, which means brick. The laterite soil develops in area with high temperature and heavy rainfall. These soils are mainly found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, and the hilly areas of Orissa and Assam. Tea, coffee, and cashew nut can be grown in these soils. Now comes the fifth type of soil, that is arid soil. Arid soils range from red to brown in color. They are generally sandy in texture and saline in nature. In some areas, the salt content is very high and common salt is obtained by evaporating the water. The bottom layer of conker restricts the infiltration of water. After proper irrigation, these soils become cultivable, as has been in the case of western Rajasthan. And the last type of soil is forest soil. These soils are found in the hilly and mountainous areas where sufficient rainforests are available. The soils found in the lower parts of the valleys, particularly on the river terraces and alluvial fans, are fertile. Now let us see soil erosion and soil conservation. What is soil erosion? The washing away of the soil cover is called as soil erosion. It can be caused due to human activities like deforestation, overgrazing, construction and mining, and also natural forces like wind, water and glacier also leads to soil erosion. To stop or to reduce the occurrence of soil erosion, we can adopt some methods such as contour plowing, terrace farming and strip cropping. Plowing along the contour lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slopes, which is called contour plowing. And in terrace farming, steps can be cut out on these slopes, making terraces. And strip cropping is the strips of grass that are left to grow between the crops. This breaks up the force of the wind. So this was the last topic of this chapter, and the class ends here. Thank you.